Perfect. All right. Well, welcome everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for coming to tonight's webinar. We won't hold you too long. We just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about, the last part of spring and what to look forward to and what's happening and all the good stuff going on. And also kind of give you an idea of what's expected at the end, because the end is coming. We got a few months to go, but wanted to just kind of lay the groundwork so that everyone knows what the game plan is, and so that we're in good shape moving forward. So I'm going to go over a little bit about Milestone 3 requirements tonight, the end of year survey, what we're looking for, and Amanda's going to talk a little bit more about that end of year report and what's going to be on it. It's nothing too crazy, but it's our last chance to gather all the data. So we got to make sure we get it right, and just want to make sure that everyone understands what we're looking for and all that good stuff. So again, thank you guys for all being here tonight. Our team's all here tonight, I think, except for our student workers. They actually have class tonight. So usually they're in the office Tuesdays and Thursdays. They've been a huge help. I don't know if you guys have got a chance to meet either of them, but two of the best student workers I've ever seen in my entire life. These guys, I can't say enough about these guys. So any rate, so let me move forward. Talk a little bit about Milestone 3 requirements. I know most of you guys already know this. I know you, especially the old guard, are like, yes, I got it. But I'm going to take a second here tonight and talk to the rookies and just kind of let you know, like, this is what we're looking for the end. So, as we all know, 30 hours of STEM professional development is what is the requirement for the program. 10 hours can be online, right? No problem. Take that anywhere. But we do ask that 20 hours be in person, that you physically sit in a classroom and meet some people, or engage with folks, or do something that connects you with others. And so please do your best to adhere to that as best you can. We would really appreciate that. Fellows must turn in 4 approved lesson plans or activities for the archive. You just got done submitting 2, so you got 2 more to go. We'll talk a little bit more about lesson plans here in a second, but keep in mind that this is kind of what we're paying you for, is the lesson plans and taking the PD. And so we really need to make sure that folks know that we only get one shot at this. We don't get a chance to really go back and do a lot of edits later. And so tonight we'll talk a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit about what we're looking for and what we need to get from you guys before the project ends. The big part of the project that most of you guys are doing some pretty awesome stuff out there is the project itself. All fellows are required to do some type of STEM project with their kiddos, either in a community setting, a classroom setting, a school setting. But we need it in your location, in your community, and we need a project that's you are doing something that affects kids. And whatever you put in your application, as far as the numbers of kids you're going to affect and kind of what the outcomes you expected, that's kind of what we're banking on and hoping that we get from you guys at the end. So if you do think you're going to have some surprises, a happy surprise would be you expected to service 50 kids and you ended up having 100. That would be great. But if it's the exact opposite and you said, hey, we're going to service 50 kids and I ended up with 3, let us know, because maybe we can find some ways to help you work on that and do some things to make sure that we can get the max output before the grant ends. And the last part of your requirements, of course, are the end of year survey, which Amanda will talk about later. But the good news is this year it won't be 2 parts. So last year we had the survey and we had the report, but we've used this wonderful new technology that we're getting much better at it. And so now we're going to blend it together. You're going to get one super link that's going to have all the stuff on it, and you'll be able to do it in one shot, and we'll be able to record it. which is going to be awesome, which we're very excited about. So hopefully that will make people's lives a little bit easier, not having to worry about back and forth. Now, the other thing too that you should all know is that we are tying your last $500 whether or not you turn that in. We did have some folks last year that didn't turn that in. It really hurt our bottom line as far as getting good, authentic data. So we decided this year that we would add that last $500 to turning that in. But we really need that data. It kind of pays for the party, and so we'd appreciate if you guys would turn that in when you're all ready to go. Lesson plans. We talked about lesson plans like a month ago, I think. Jonathan was on and did a webinar, which was pretty awesome. A lot of you guys showed up. Appreciate that. But let me give you kind of an idea of where we're at right now. So, Jonathan is in this process right now of, the guy is working 24/7, just trying to process the tsunami that came through his inbox about a week and a half ago. I know we said to everybody, we're like, hey, if you could get it in December, that would be great. And nobody did. So they all came at once in February. So we are behind, and I want you guys to know that. And so we're doing the best we can. Things that are really hard for us to do is to I know a lot of you guys want that instant feedback of, did you get my plans? Do they look okay? Are they great? I'm doing my best to try to get to as many of those folks as possible, but it's hundreds and hundreds of plans that we're going through, and it's not like you can just just glance at it real quick. You got to really dig deep, and so it's taking time, and I just want you guys to know that. But I want you to know that we're working on it. Jonathan's working on it. He's doing a totally kick butt job at it, and so if you could help him, we would really appreciate it. So what does that mean? So I'll leave this up here, but we do need those 2 slides for those last 2 lesson plans from you by June 30th. There's not going to be any extensions for this. Just there's not going to be any really second chances, because the grant's coming to an end and we got to close the house. We got to close all the bucks and pay everybody off and make sure all the accounts are done. So we really have to make sure that June 30th deadline syncs with everybody, because we want to pay you. We want to make sure that you get as much funds as possible. But after that deadline, we're going to be done. So just please put that in the back of your head, and start turning them in earlier if you can. If we could pay you even earlier, great. That'd be awesome. But again, when you're doing your plans, a couple things I wanted to, just throw it out there. It is way easier if you send me an email and say, Mike, Jonathan, Amanda, whoever, will you take a look at my plans and give me some feedback? I could totally do that. And it's easier for me to write in there and give you feedback in the comment section and send it back to you to make corrections or whatever than it is for you to submit, and then we see it, whatever the issue is, and then send it back. So if you have a question on something that you're submitting, send it to us and we'll take a look. We'll help you out. We'll give you some tips. We've had some really cool lessons kind of emerge the last month by doing this. And it's been, I think it's been fantastic. The thing about the lesson plan archive is that, this is like the deliverable. This is like the thing that we have said that we will create this thing and it will be for teachers across the state to use. And this is what we're essentially paying you for to do. So, so it's got to be good. And we want to make it publishable. If you turn in a lesson that's like only the template numbers and there's not any pictures or notes to the teacher or examples or any of that other stuff that we all know is good teaching, we can't publish it. And if we can't publish it, then what do we pay you for? We didn't pay you for it. You didn't help the program at all. And so, please take the time and turn in something that you can be proud of, because your name's on it too. And your name's going to go on it saying, hey, I did this. And so just wanted to throw that out there to folks. I would say 85% of all the lessons that we've been getting have been fantastic, but there have been a handful that have been kind of uh, um, need some further revisions, and we can't do it. We can't do all that and manage everything at the same time. And so, I'd hate for you to get bumped and not be able to publish your stuff on the site. And honestly, if when next August comes, there won't be the ability to even make those changes anymore. So please do the best you possibly can. One of the other reasons that we have folks' names attached to their lesson plans when we publish, um, it's to give you a chance to like show off your wares. It's a chance to show off like, hey man, this is what I do in my classroom. These are the kinds of lessons I'm doing. And it's pretty cool to say that, hey, my stuff is published on the ASU on an ASU website. I've already had 2 teachers come talk to me in the last 2 weeks saying, hey, this has been fantastic for me as far as like my resume goes, and being able to share with people that, hey, I've published lesson plans on this ASU website. It's a good thing, and I encourage you to take advantage of that as much as possible. So, at any rate, long story short, if you have any questions about your lessons, please let us know, because we're here to help you, and we'll do whatever it takes to help you get something great across the finish line. So a couple of things that I would like to personally ask of folks. We've noticed that a lot of the there's a lot of crossover, right? Because if you're teaching a certain subject or a certain grade, right, there are certain lessons that everybody does, right? Everybody does these certain lessons, and we as teachers, we get that, right? But some things I wanted to put in the back of people's heads are, some things we could really kind of use for the website are these 3 things right here. Some more geographically relevant kind of lessons. There's been some folks, I talked to a gal a couple weeks ago. They were talking about, they were talking about Native American construction techniques up on the reservation up north, and using, body parts for measurement. I was like, this is amazing. This is all the things. It's geographically diverse, it's culturally relevant, and you're using mathematics. Like, that's fantastic. And very interdisciplinary, right? Any chance you can blend things like that together, I say go for it. And if you got an idea and you want some more feedback, run it by us, and we'll tell you what we think about it. I would say, a lot of the things we've seen come across as far as lesson plans go have been just absolutely fantastic. Anything that we could add to the archive, I think that would be like, Arizona unique, any kind of cultural relevancy. I think any of these kinds of things really would make what the lessons are in there, they would just highlight what we're doing. I think it'd just be a good thing. So if there's any chance you could help us with any of that stuff, I would be really grateful, and I'd appreciate it, because other teachers can tap into that and use that for what they're doing, which I think would be great. STEM projects. So I know a lot of folks are neck deep into their projects. Oh my gosh, I've seen like about 300 gardens at this point, which has been fantastic. I've seen both versions, the aquaponics version and the land version, which has been awesome. Keep doing those things, and it's okay to build upon what you already started last year, right? So one gal wrote me and she's like, hey, well, we need to buy a wheelbarrow for the garden because we're expanding. I'm like, that's great, go for it. That's for you guys that are year 2 fellows, I hope you would take advantage of building up that infrastructure of whatever you're working on. But one thing I do want to highlight in tonight's webinar is, if for any reason you're like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make those numbers that I said I would in my application, if you'd let us know, I'd appreciate it, so that we can plan accordingly. Because when we selected all the fellows at the beginning of the year, everyone said, I will do this project, I will affect this many kids, and I'll be able to do X, Y, Z. And so you got picked based upon that, right? Because we're trying to fill all the gaps. But if and so if you come in and say, hey, you know what, we had a, we had sickness take over in our family, and we had a principal change, or we had whatever I wasn't able to make those benchmarks, that is okay too. That is totally fine. Let us help you. Let us work with you, whatever we can do to possibly, help you any way you can, any way we can. Let us know, because those numbers are going to make a difference in this next go around, and we'd like to get those numbers high as we possibly can. I'm just going to say it. I think a lot of folks are like, well, what counts, right? Like, what counts as my numbers? Well, if you're only working with this very small group of kids, right? But then you're also working with like other kids in your classroom, it's okay to count all the kids that are affected by your work, right? And I encourage you to cast the widest net possible when it comes to that, because I think a lot of people, teachers especially, like, we don't think about like how many kids we really affect on a daily basis, right? We don't really we're focused on like certain groups, but anyway, just throwing that out there. Would appreciate help in that category. And also, your supplies do not need to perfectly match your projects. I just want that to be clear, right? The supply funds are for you to get whatever you need to bring STEM to your campus, right? I know there's been a lot of requests for things like iPads and laptops and things of that nature. Trust me, I had a Chromebook that just, I mean, it was like watching AOL 1.0. It was terrible. But unfortunately, we can't fund those kinds of things because they just won't let us do it. So when you're making your purchase, technology is fine, but just make sure that you're making purchases of like that kind of nature. We want you to buy things that are going to last. Like a set of Pocket Labs or some Spheros are totally fine. Buying, science equipment, totally fine. Beakers, like the wheelbarrow, the tools, all those things are totally fine. The things that last a long time are even better. And, you do need to know that we are, as part of the project, studying that. And so there are categories for all those different things in your end of year report. And so it's really important we get an idea of what you are spending your dollars on. So if nobody has said this enough, let me reiterate it. Please, please, please save your receipts. Do not throw them away. Make sure you put them somewhere safe, because we do need to have that documentation to share with ADE, because that's one of the first things they're going to come knocking on our door for is show us what these dollars bought, and we're able to do that with you guys sharing the receipts. So yes, somebody does go through them, every single one, line by line. So it is important that you turn in some pretty accurate receipts if at all possible. If you're still having a problem deciding on a project, let me encourage you to go talk to some PD organizations in the consortium. There's a lot of stuff out there right now. If you haven't checked out the Facebook group, there's a ton of stuff on the Facebook group all the time, which has been fantastic. And just reach out. Let us know if we can help you out at all. Again, like we got a ton of ideas. I mean, me and Amanda, we got ideas like all over the place. So let us help you. Okay. All right. So professional development, these are our partners. This list is growing. It's getting bigger, which is pretty amazing. Anyone in this consortium is fair game for PD, right? Like if you're like, hey, I'm going to go to the water center, great. They're in network, so to speak, right? But if you decide to go out of network, that's fine too. Anything that's a national organization is probably 99% going to be approved. But if there's like kind of niche things that are very tiny, that are like pay to play organizations, or especially like PD on your home campus, just know that we're probably going to say no or ask for crazy amounts of documentation on what it is they're doing, because that is not what we want you to do, is get PD from certain school districts. That's I'm trying to put it as PC as I possibly can, so you'll forgive me, but we're trying to expand people's opportunities for STEM engagement and different places from where they're currently at is the best way I can explain that. So, all right. Completing your milestones. I won't go too far into this, but your big checks will be on the way here pretty quick. As soon as you get your last 2 lesson plans in and your PD hours. I think doing it this way this year, splitting it up has really made a difference because now everyone's like on the downhill slide, which is great because now you only got to do 2 lesson plans and 20 hours. I think we have a huge number of folks who are already done, which is fantastic, which I really appreciate. I'm hoping you took classes or did something that made you better and you feel like you got something out of it. But if you're still looking for PD, last time I checked, there are plenty of PD opportunities on the website, and there's a lot of openings still available. And so please take advantage. That being said, I will say, one thing we are keeping track of, and I'm not sure if folks are aware, I've been putting it on Facebook, is that if you got to miss a PD opportunity, I want folks to understand something. None of this is free, right? So we at ASAP technically paid for that PD to happen, and when people don't show up at the last minute, those funds are wasted, and that doesn't look good on us, but it also it really hurts our ability to affect more people. So I would say 95% of the folks out there have been really good about advance warning. But if you think that like, hey, I'm not going to make it, please let that PD partner know. Don't let me and Amanda know because we're not in that circle. You need to let your PD partner that you're participating in that PD know what's going on and give them advance notice so that they can get somebody else in there so that those funds don't go to waste. When you cancel the day before, there's nothing anybody can do about it. And I got to tell you, there's a couple PD partners that are ordering some pretty sweet lunches that, they're just like, all right, these 10 lunches went to waste. And it's like, we don't want that stuff. So please help us in that if you guys would. If you can give some advance warning on those things, that would be great. So last thing, we're going to go to project reports. And I think, Amanda, do you want me to cover this really quick? Or did you want to talk?
You can do it, or I can do it. Either one.
All right, I'm gonna start it. Amanda's gonna finish it. So, one thing about the project reports are, we're not gonna take them and we're not gonna release the questions now, right? Because nobody should be done with her project now, right? There's one gal that is done with her project, and the only reason she's done with her project is because her husband and her deployed to a foreign country because they're in the Navy. That's it. Everybody else should not be done yet. Hopefully this is a project that you're still working on up until the end of the semester. Like STEM nights, of course, count, and sometimes it's a one-off thing, but we're not ready to collect that data yet until the end of the semester. So, but we will put the questions, or most of them. I think we're only going to change like 3 or 4 of them, but the question set is on the website right now. So if you're really go-getter, you can start answering the questions from the website and have it ready to go. And then when we send you the link for the jot form, you can just drop it in there and be done, and it should be pretty quick. But I want you to see this clip here on the right side because this is Aaron Whiting up in Eastern Arizona, and I'm going to pick on Aaron because Aaron turned in, I think, one of the best. Everything he did in his report was like outstanding. Like it was fantastic. He's got all the receipts, right? He's got his receipts in there. He's got everything reported. He gives a really great project description that's like 3 paragraphs deep that really gets into like what he's doing. So we have an understanding of what he's doing. And then he answers all the prompts, with like 2 or 3 paragraphs, which is huge because we need data. We need to hear from folks at a very, we're trying to collect qualitative data on a very deep level. And the more you give us, the more we can analyze. So I don't want to get into the weeds too much. I don't want to get too nerdy on this, but our dream here is to take the lessons learned from you guys, all 400 this year and 500 last year. right? And look at these questions and break them down in a quantitative state so that we can basically get an idea of, what is the state of STEM here in Arizona. And we think we can do that if everyone answers these things and gives us like some deep, authentic stuff. But when you give us like a sentence or like, maybe half a paragraph, it's not much to work with. We can't really do a whole lot with it. And so the more information you can give us, the better. So give us those descriptors. Tell us like, hey, this worked. This didn't work. You can even tell us, hey, this project stinks, man. I didn't like any of it. That's fine. It helps with the data collection, and it helps us generate research, which is kind of one of the main components to ASAP. So again, thank you guys very, very much for putting your effort into this, because I know it's not fun. I know it's a pain. Nobody likes doing a survey. I got it. I understand this. But I want you to know I personally appreciate every one of you, and thank you guys so much for taking the time to like fill these things out, because it's making a difference. It really is. I wish I could share with you guys more about just, the stuff it's doing, and I don't have enough hours to do that. But just know that we appreciate you guys very, very much. So, all right, Amanda, I'm sorry. I keep talking too much and I apologize. So you go ahead.
That's okay. I am going to dig a little bit deeper on the final report here. I'm going to bounce off of what Mike was starting to talk about in the final project description. Mike, can you go to the next page?
You bet.
So one of the things that we really want to hammer home for the final report is to not limit yourself. So Mike and I had a couple of really cool opportunities last year to talk to people, to hear about what you guys were doing in person when we'd run across you at conferences or PD opportunities, and, just hang out and chat. And there were multiple times, more than once, where we would have conversations with people and listen to the cool things that you're doing. Oh, I bought telescopes, and I'm doing a whole star party with my school, and we've got all these cool things going, and we hear your name and we talk with you, and then we see the final report and we're like, you didn't mention any of the star party stuff in your report. You chose one thing to put as sort of this deliverable at the end, this on the final report, and it was cool. It was interesting, but we know that there's more going on that you were doing. So I think that is probably the biggest thing that I would say for both people who are new to the project as well as people who did it last year. Don't limit yourself. You don't have to just describe one thing, particularly if money went to purchasing supplies. Like if you bought telescopes for that star party, please tell us about the star party too, even if that's not what you want the main focus of your final report to be. Feel free to go into all kinds of detail, brag about yourself, brag about the great work that you've been doing for whatever your project is. But, maybe there were a couple of other really cool things that happened because of funding from ASAP, or, connections that you made with the PD partners, or people that you teamed up with because of, you went to an aerospace PD, and so you did something with a fellow somewhere else. It doesn't have to be just one thing. Please tell us about all the amazing things you've been doing. So I just wanted to make sure that that was really clear. And yeah, we are so excited to see this next batch of reports. It's very, very cool. I think go on to the next page, Mike. Just a reminder, your PD partners should be giving you a survey every single time you go to a PD. If you go to a PD from one of our partners that's funded by us, they should provide it for you automatically. If you're going to something that maybe wasn't directly funded by us, fill it out anyway. Give us the information. We want to know, because this was how we found a couple of PD partners between last year and this year. You know, you guys filled out some surveys and told us how great some of the other opportunities that you went to. And so it enabled us to be able to identify other people who should be part of our network. So make sure that you're getting those surveys in. Next one, Mike. And don't forget that these sort of basic dates are here for you. There's a link to this, and it'll be in the slides that we send out, but it'll also be it's also linked from our website. You know, I think that sometimes people forget that the website is not just a way that we talk about all the cool things that we hear about from you and promote you guys, but it's also one of the links that you have to us. So on the Fellows tab, there's the place where you turn in your PD certificates. There's the place where you turn in your lesson plans, but it also has the new question or the old questions for the end of year report, so that you can start taking a look at those and knowing what's going to be on there. You know, there's all kinds of links that you can find on our website. Next one. And then I'm going to pass it over to Tiffany, because she has the honor of being able to tell you about our super cool announcement.
Yay! Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm not going to take you guys too long at all. We just have a really super fun announcement, or I think it's fun. It's been a lot of fun for me to help try to plan it. But we are actually going to be hosting an ASAP end of year conference in June. Specifically, we're looking at June 21st. And so that would be a Friday. That is going to be a Friday, but hopefully, most folks will be out by then if possible. And then that will be, it says 9 a.m., but 9 a.m. is when registration would be starting. The actual conference itself would be starting at 10, because we are trying to be mindful about some folks who may be coming in from further away, since this will be in the Phoenix, Glendale area. And so there is more to come, and so we're super excited. We just want to get you guys aware that this is going to be something that's happening. Get that date on your calendars. And then also, too, one caveat is that we do want this to be about you all. So if you are interested in hosting a breakout session at the conference, if you have a cool lesson plan, cool ideas that you've done in your own classroom, and that you want to have a breakout session be dedicated to that lesson and just be able to play around with your other teacher fellows, that would be super awesome. We're going to be having a forum about that coming out soon. And so, yeah, this is just to get this on your radar, but we just wanted to let you guys know that we will be having a ASAP end of year conference. That's all.
Do you mind if I add to that a little bit, Tiffany?
Go for it.
So just to let everyone know, APS was very generous, and they gave us a little scholarship to basically end ASAP on a high note. So we're ending ASAP with APS. Say that a couple times, just kidding. But I think this would be pretty cool. This has been a pretty unique last 2 years with this project. I do not anticipate that ASAP will keep going at this level after August. If it does continue, I'm just going to tell you, like, it won't be nearly to the scale. And so we figured we should all get together, and we should hang out and share and collaborate one last time. And at least let me buy a free lunch, right? So this would be pretty fun to be able to, connect with folks. We are going to call it a STEM exchange, because that's exactly what it is. And we want to highlight as many lesson plans on the website that have been curated the last 2 years. So if you have a lesson plan that you're proud of, that you'd like to, maybe possibly present, please let us know. I think it'll be totally fun. I think it'd be a really great day for everybody to get together one last time. And on top of that, we'll have your pins and your certificates ready to go And I'm just going to tell you, I don't have any shipping funds left. So if you don't pick them up at the conference, I don't know what to tell you. So then there's that.
So I did put in the date document that you saw a little bit earlier that officially you have to have everything in by June 30th. However, the conference is on June 22nd. So if you want those pins and certificates at the conference, we really, really, really need all of your information by the 17th. That isn't a final date. We may have to change that date, but just be thinking, at least give us a week ahead of time, please, so that we can get all of that organized. Because, man, you guys should have seen the floor of the office last year when Shala was organizing certificates. It was, whew. So please keep that in mind, that we would love to be able to pass that out to you at the conference. We'd love to be able to have everybody come. I saw a question in the comments that I wanted to address, and Tiffany did a great job of answering it there, but I just wanted to do it out loud too. So we have a limited space for the conference itself, but we do have room for 400 people. And so we are going to kind of release signing up in a couple of different waves. All of our PD partners and all of our year 2 fellows are, you guys are all automatically invited. And then we anticipate that we'll be able to open it up to year 1 fellows as well, because we really want to bring everybody together. We always wanted to be able to support everyone through as much of this ASAP journey as possible. And, we told people when we couldn't accept everyone at the end of last year that, like, we weren't abandoning you. We still want to support you. We still want to see you and hear from you. So we hope to be able to open that up to year 1 fellows as well. But like Tiffany said, there's a lot more information to come. We've just been able to sort of get our dates and get some of the major things pinned down for it. So a lot more information to come. So I think at this point, Mike, Tiffany, Shala, is there anything else that we need to make sure that we get to people, or are we ready to sort of take some questions either in the comments or verbally?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's take some questions.
I see Troy's got his hand up. How's it going, Troy?
It's going good, going good. My question is, I know several of us are members of the cohort with the Maricopa superintendent, and I know that most of our PD hours are kind of like a hybrid. I know we tend to meet, and I know you said that 20 hours of it has to be, in person. But does that, because in the hybrid, how's that going to work, Amanda?
No, you're good. You're good. The hybrid groups that are in the cohorts, you guys are exempt from that because you're
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
all of our established cohorts are exempt.
Okay, because I know I've already met my 30 hours because I've already done a lot, and then I just got the first 15. That's the hybrid. So I just need to do one more lesson plan and then I'm done. But this has been, like I was telling Mike today, this has been a great experience as a year 2. And it's great to hear the idea about the project, because I will be adding to my project that I did last year. And I'm going to be sending an invite to you guys to come in and experience it, because we're expanding our coding, kind of like our coding STEM cafe camp in the summer. So I'll be sending that out when we get ready to roll out that toward the end of the year.
Perfect. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. To clarify about the in-person, one of the reasons why we've been asking for the in-person is because part of the goal is to help support you with the community, and those cohorts meet that requirement of having that sort of sustained community. So that's That's why those are exempt. Yeah. Ah, thank you, Troy. That's awesome. Anybody?
Anybody else?
Hi, I came in and hello? Hi, I came in the middle and I heard something about $500. Are we supposed to give that back or something? You said, was it? Or
No,
was I
no,
hearing?
no, no. What we were saying is that the last $500 this year is tied to your end of year report. So you
And
got
your
to
surveys and all of that stuff.
end of your report and
Oh,
serve.
okay.
It's $500.
Oh, okay.
That
Oh,
was
okay.
it.
Oh, all right. I was like, okay. I came in the middle of it. So.
No
All right,
worries.
thank
I'm trying to get every last minute of data out of you guys, man. That's what I'm.
Rosengard?
Mr. Rosengard.
Hello, I forgot my first name. It's me, Abraham Rosengard.
Hey, Abraham.
Hi. So those lesson plans, man. I appreciate. I want to say first, I appreciated the video you sent out with the PowerPoint. That really helped out a lot. Because I was able to follow along and be like, oh, this is exactly what they want, and man, this is thorough and good. Thank God I got approved for both of them today. So I was like, all right, I did something right. But I'm just thinking more ahead for my other ideas that I had. I kind of want to pivot the ideas. So who are the people or persons that I talk to for idea generation for the last two PowerPoints? Because I might want to get a head start on them. So maybe like schedule a Zoom meeting or something. But
Yeah,
I want who I don't want to bother anyone who shouldn't be involved in this. So who are the people that I should ask for help on this?
Bother away. You can ask any of us.
Okay.
No problem. Yeah, just
Okay,
send me
awesome.
an email. We'll set up a time. It's cool.
Okay, perfect.
You can always email us. Mike and I are going to go ahead and have another couple of office hours coming up if you want to like sort of brainstorm it in a group. And then Jonathan is fully dedicated to the lesson plans, and he has just like 10 years of experience in helping teachers with this, like with lesson plans, with planning and that kind of stuff. So yeah, the three of us would be a great option.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
I wanted to ask you another question related to the cohort. I belong to the cohort and we finished 10 hours with it. And I know you said we still have time until June, some date, 21st. And we keep meeting every alternate Wednesday. And is that okay to continue the 20 hours until then? Or do we have to go to any in person? I know Troy was asking about it. I just couldn't hear him clearly. So do I have to go and attend any in person, or is that good enough for me when I meet with my cohort, the 20 hours?
No, as long as you're in your cohort, that's fine. As long as you're in a cohort, that's okay. Which one are you in, Jennifer?
I don't remember. Sorry.
That's okay. Just make sure you check with the person who's running your cohort.
Oh,
So
yeah, I remember. It's the Maricopa.
Yeah, then you're fine. You're good.
yeah, just
Okay.
just in general, like most of the cohorts will get you all 30 of the hours that you need. So you've already turned in 10, then you've got 20 more that are coming. There are a couple of the cohorts that don't get you all the way to 30 hours, but my understanding talking with your PD partners is they've been talking to you about that already. Everybody knows how many hours you're going to get. And so, some people, there's like one or two of the cohorts that you might need to go do some other in-person stuff, but for the most part, you should be covered.
Okay. That's all I needed to ask. Thank you. Oh, I had another question. I work with my students on this SPV labs in my school. It's about growing plants in the controlled environment under the solar panels and the other beds. So we do have some students record in statements where they record how they feel about growing these plants and how they feel about measuring the plants and their experiences. It's like a podcast. So if I attach that podcast, that's really interesting when you hear them speak about their experiences and how they like it and how they plan to do something in future. So if I had to attach a podcast, they mentioned the name of the school. I just didn't want that to appear. Is there somewhere that you would be able to delete that if I send that to you?
Probably not. I don't
Okay.
think we won't have the ability to edit hardly anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so if I deleted that part of the conversations with my students where they're telling their school name and all that, would that be a good resource for anybody who wanted to use it, listening to students speak about their experiences?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean, I would be interested. I think that's very cool. We will have to check to see if that's one of the formats that's supported on the final report, because I know people have sent us videos, people have sent us pictures. I don't know if anyone sent us any audio files yet. So we can definitely take a look at that. But yeah, I mean, I would love to hear them talk about it. I'm sure other people would as well.
Okay. Just because you mentioned anything that's interesting to add that to our reports, I thought this would be something really good. Okay, thank you so much.
You bet. I'm going to go ahead and stop share, Amanda. All right. Any other questions, anybody?
I have a question. I never received a year one certificate or pin. Is that, are they all gone?
No,
I
they're
don't know.
actually sitting right back here. They're in a huge pile.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
When we wrote the grant, there
yeah.
apparently they won't let us mail anything. So we have no mailing ability, but it's here.
Okay, all right. So it's not going anywhere. Oh, there's a way. Okay. Figure it out.
I have a quick question. If I'm not able to make it to the soiree in June, will there be people in Tucson who'd be willing to bring those certificates back to Tucson? Or can I send you guys like a prepaid self-addressed stamped envelope, and then you would stick it in there and mail it back to me?
Yeah, we could totally do that. We did that last year for a bunch of folks that were like just really, really far out. So we can figure something out.
Yeah, and for Tucson, usually SARSF has volunteered to take all the remaining Tucson certificates down. We've got PD partners that are going in different locations, so we've been able to figure out a lot of that too.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you guys. This has been a great program. I always joke it's kind of the blind leading the blind in my little categories because I'm doing robotics. And I took a class this summer with Pima County Superintendent of Schools, Amanda's group, and got like Go, Code and Go mice. And so I've been using those to introduce coding to even my third and fourth graders that I have after school. And I'm also introducing it to the first graders. And the engagement and the enthusiasm has been amazing. And I explained to him, I said, now you might want to be paying attention in math class because the robot we're going to doesn't work quite like this. And so we're going to have to be able to use some math skills. And they were like, oh, okay. So our kids are wonderful, but high population of English language learners and a high population of kids who low socioeconomic standing, that they wouldn't have a chance to do this without this opportunity. So I personally want to thank you on behalf of my little babies, even the 3rd and 4th graders, they're still my babies. And we're getting ready to migrate into Edison's with the older kids, and they're very excited. They can hardly wait. And I'm going to the Edison robot thing this Saturday in Sierra Vista, and I'm bringing some of my colleagues with me.
That's so exciting. Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
have,
oh, sorry.
we have robot fever in my wing.
Oh, good. You know, Mike and I try to say it all the time, but we appreciate you guys so, so much. So much creativity, so much hard work and care on your part. And, you know, you were doing it before ASAP was here, and you're going to do it after ASAP is gone. But we're just so grateful to be able to helpfully support you doing the things that you want to do for this period of time. So thank you.
You're welcome. There's a question that came up that wanted to know, I'm assuming it wanted to know where the workshop is in Sierra Vista. And I'm a little bit of a go-getter. So I emailed Amanda and went, yeah, where do I go? Because I know I go to Sierra Vista, but we're in Sierra Vista. And so she said she's sending out the notices and the directions and stuff on Wednesday, but she sent me the address. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's the University of Arizona's Sierra Vista campus.
If you wouldn't mind putting that in the comments or the chat, I'm sure somebody would appreciate
I will
that.
do that as we speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've got a lot of people still hanging on. Any other questions at all?
Well, it is almost 6 o'clock, and Mike and I and Tiffany and Shala will all hang out here for a little bit while longer. But you know, if you are ready to get your evening going, thank you so much for coming. It is always great to see you guys and talk with you and hear about what's happening. And like I said before, we're so grateful to you and all the work that you do for your kiddos. So thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Hi, this is Preeti Mehta.
Hi.
I just have a question. I submitted my 7 hours, and I don't know you know how you send us the summary of what we did? It said only 10 hours, but actually I'm done with 17 hours. So how do I go about it? Whom do I need to contact for?
I think Shaw is the box below me, so I'm pointing down.
Contact me.
Hi.
Hi, Preeti. Contact me if you have any questions about your PD hours or lesson plans.
Yeah, because I did take the survey, but I'm not sure what happened. So do I need to take it again, or?
I will check that before you submit another one. Just send me an email. I will check that and let you know if you have to submit another one.
Okay, and your email?
I will put it in the chat.
Okay, thanks.
Of course.
And there, you know, there may have been a couple of emails